Hey you and welcome. I'm Mr. Barry. In this whole video I want to talk about Night Cafe's AI creation there with artwork. Now I've made a number of videos already about this, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and systematically go in to all the steps that I do to create different works of art. Now in the previous video I went in, I made something like this. And a lot of people said, hey, that's nice and everything, but we want something more like this. All right. In fact, one subscriber asked me to actually create something there with like a country woman painting a portrait that's high detailed, hyper, has a lot of detail there. It looks like a real painting of a real person and not something with all these weird colors like you see here. All right, so I'm going to show you step by step on how to do that. I'm also going to show you some of the other things I use to make a creation and then duplicate or evolve that creation to get something more of what I'm thinking about in my mind. Okay. I'm not going to be using a starter image or an image that I find on the internet or anything like that. I'm actually going to be using just words, and then I'm going to be evolving or duplicating that image over and over again and showing you the exact steps that I take to finally get something that I'm happy with there. All right, so let's take a look into this, you and I. Come on. And here we are in the Night Cafe's homepage, AI Art Generator. What I'm going to do is I'm going to be using basically the basic version, not the pro version. So that's why you see ads up here. You probably don't see them in the video because I'm taking those out, but there'd be ads up here at the top unless you go pro. And I'm going to be showing you how to make different works of art, as you see there in the intro. And I'm not going to be using credits for the majority of these. So on this page here it says choose your method. You got stable, DALL-E 2, coherent, artistic, and style transfer. So you have different options or methods for creating your work. I'm going to go with the most popular one here, the stable, which is what I use most of the time. Okay, on this you notice that I'm using the classic interface. There is a new interface that's available. You can try it now. But let's say that you tried it like I did and used it for a couple days and you still don't like it. You can always switch back to this one here, which is my favorite, by simply going into your settings, account settings, and then switching to what's called the classic interface. The classic interface allows me to add new prompts easier and allows me to dial in the work of art to be exactly what I want. So I've already typed in my first prompt right here, and that's because that's what was actually asked of me of the subscriber. He said, hey Mr. Barry, I want beautiful country woman that's a head and shoulders portrait. So there you go. I'm going to have AI read this off to us now.
Beautiful country woman, symmetry, head and shoulders portrait, 8K resolution concept art portrait by Greg Rakowski, ArtGerm, WLOP. Alphonse Mucha dynamic lighting, hyper detailed, intricately detailed splash art trending on ArtStation Triadic Colors, Unreal Engine 5 volumetric lighting.
And we'll be right back after this short break. And welcome back. And you notice right away we have the word symmetry here. I added that in. And that is usually associated with beauty there when you have a face that's symmetrical on either side. Models, for example, have that. Okay, I'm going to add another prompt simply by clicking on add another prompt. I'm going to go matte painting because that's more of a style that I want there. You do have all this, and I'm going to reduce that weight to being 0.1. Very light. Let's say that you went a higher weight for this. It would make a matte painting, but it may not have a person in it. And that's not what I want. Let's now use a negative prompt. I'm going to tweak it to be -1. And the negative prompts, I talked about that in a previous video, but basically that's makes it so it's not ugly or any of these words here. And we're not going to be starting with a start image. Let's say that you're doing Photoshop and you have an idea of already what you want to be the result. You could upload an image, a start image. You can even use multiple images there to work off of. And then when you do that, you'll be using a mask. In this video, I'm going to show you actually a start image, and I'll be creating a mask to create a special effect. That's going to make this really nice. On the aspect ratio, a lot of times it starts out as 1.1 or 1/1, a square. Many of my images that I've made in the past would be widescreen because I want a desktop background for my computer. But for this one, the person said I want a painting that I can hang on the wall that's vertical. Okay, that's mobile vertical. 9:16, exact opposite of this here. There's the seed number, so we're going to be using that seed number. I'm going to be using the overall weight here of 60%. By default, it usually starts at 50%, and we can change that around later. How many images do I want? 1 for 0 credits. I'm using the basic version here, and you can do these with 0 credits. Next, we have the model. I'm going to be showing you differences in how this will change the output when I change the stable diffusion model there. I'm going to be using 1.5 for all these creations until later when I show you that change there. This is the clip guidance, and I'm going to be choosing none. I can change that as well. And then the sampling, there's so many different samplings, I'm going to be keeping it the same there, KLMS. So down here we have the resolution and runtime. Notice that I'm using short for 0 credits. And the output resolution is going to be thumbnail. Now you may ask, you say, well, Mr. Barry, the subscriber asked for a detailed matte painting. Why are you doing thumbnail? Well, you can actually increase that number on the final result. So when you finally dial in to the work that you want, you can actually upscale it and enhance it that way. Next, what we're going to do is, notice it says total cost 0 credits. We're going to create this and see what happens. There we go. We made it. Alright, so this is the result of those words and that, let's see, that seed. And what I want to do is, this is very, very close to what I want, but notice there's some differences there in the eye. Maybe I don't like the reflection in the eyes or something else, but I want to keep everything really, really similar. So I'm going to say duplicate it. And this time I'm going to change the number here to 70. Let's see what happens when I change that. Okay, going back, it looks almost the same. Looks almost the same. Then go back to my creations here. These two look almost the same. Here's the background. And here's the background. A little bit of difference, very, very slight differences there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and you notice that I was using, this is all the exact same prompt over and over again. And I'm going to go to this one here. And this is the one that came out just the way I wanted it. Notice the eye there. The reflection there off the eye. It just looks way better on this one. If you notice, I used the exact same seed and the same everything. So every time you make a creation, even if you're using the same seed and the same prompt, there will be slight variations between each work of art. So let's duplicate this. And we're going to now change this up a little bit. And I'm going to be showing you how it's different if I use a different model. So I'm going to go to 2.0 and let's just see what happens when we change the model. And we'll be right back after this short break. And welcome back. Wow, that is really different, right? So this is the same seed number, same words, but I simply used a different model. Let's duplicate this again. And now we're going to go in and go 2.1 and see how it paints it now as 2.1. Again, really different. This is something that you might see on a video game. Some type of a painting like this or an image like this, right? You might see this in a video game where this looks more like what I was trying to achieve, an actual painting there. So let's try one of these here. Let's try this one. Here, exact same words there, but I'm going to duplicate it again. So I'm hitting this very first button here to duplicate it. And you notice it's the same prompts. But this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to change that seed number and make it number 11 there. And let's just see how it changes that painting, that image. Okay. So we see something, I went from there to there. Okay, that's duplicated again. Let's go with 01 here now. So I'm changing that seed number. And forgive me if I'm going a little bit fast. It's just that you can always pause by hitting the space bar. So here's the same image again. Right, so it's a duplicate of that, same everything, but just a simple change in the seed number. Duplicate it. Let's change the seed number up again. This time let's go with putting in some more numbers in there, and let's see. So I'm just typing in different numbers here. So overall, it is the same, right? It is the same woman over and over again, but in different pose. And that's simply by changing the seed number, as you see here, and then clicking on Create. Okay, I see the results there. And over and over again. Now, some of these are really similar because I did very small number changes in the seed number, or in very minor changes in the other aspects there. So let's go duplicate again, but this time we're going to choose a different overall prompt weight. I'm going to go 80%, and let's just see if that changes anything here. And the result, as you can see here, is a very minor change. I'll highlight those changes right now for you, but there's a little bit of difference in the quality of the skin tone on her face, as well as some other areas there with her involving her hair and the strands there. Slight variation between each one. Okay, so now I have these three that are basically almost duplicates of themselves, but I changed the overall prompt weight. So if you want to do more of a major change, we say evolve. And so we're going to evolve, and this time we're going to change the seed number again. So I'm going to use that same pose, but changing this seed number there. Let's see what happens now. And we'll be right back after this short break. And welcome back. Okay, so let's compare these two. We have that one, the change, this one. So here she has something different on. Her hair is a little different, a little bit different in the eyes, right? Really similar. And that was done by evolving it. So let's evolve it again. And I will choose another seed number. Let's see what happens here. And remember, you can always hit pause there to see what changes I do. Here she is again. Again, it's a different background. She's wearing something different. Her eyes, again, are different. It's really similar between all of these, but you can see minor changes, right? You can look at this clothing, for example, and know that yes, there is differences going on between these images, but it's very minor. So that's what we do to basically dial in the image that you want. We'll do it again here. Let's go evolve, and I'm going to change this number dramatically now, and I'm going to bring this back down to here. If I wanted a more of a radical change, you can bring this noise number up as well, and the higher the number on the noise, the more changes you are expected to see. And you notice here's a different color background. Now we can see more changes between these two, right? Very similar though. Alright, so let's go in, let's evolve this, and I'm going to change that number again. I'm going to change the prompt weight, allow for more changes with the noise. So I reduced the overall prompt weight down to 60, and I increased the noise. The noise, remember, allows me to make those differences in the image. Let's go create. Wow, there are some major changes there. So here, between this one and this one, you can see the differences, right? If we look at the little previews, you can kind of see the changes as we're going in and making changes. Let's take this image now, and let's say I want to duplicate it. Let's change that seed number, the seed number, and the prompt weight. And what we're going to do is we're going to now, so I've done 2 changes, more than 2, 3 changes or so. Let's just see what happens. Okay, very subtle differences. Here's the original. Here's with the modifications. And let's say I go back to the original here, this one here, and now what we're going to do is let's evolve this, and I'm going to choose a different model. So let's go 2.0 and see how it paints that one differently. Let's try that. There we go. There's the differences. It's the same painting, right? But done in a different style or different model in this case. From 1.5 is what this one is, and then this should be to 2.0. You can see it here, the differences. Next, let's do it now to the higher number, 2.1. Now you can clearly see the differences when using either the Stable Diffusion 1.5 versus 2.0 or 2.1. Let's now go to the original one. Let's evolve it and go down. Let's go to 1.4 and just see what happens. There's 1.4. Now you have this weird thing on around her neck. I don't know what that is. The neck is kind of long too. It's a little bit out of proportions, I believe. I don't know. Maybe a human can be that way. I don't know. But you can see the differences there. Let's evolve this again. So that's 1.5, but we're going to change that seed over. You could change any number. Let's just choose 7 to see what happens on seed number 7. There's over 4 million, by the way. Let's see what happens now. There it is. So there's seed number 7. So you can see basically the same person, but done slightly different as we change that seed. And this is how you dial it in to get exactly what you want as far as a creation. And it does take a lot of work, yes. We're going to duplicate this one now. And this time we're going to go in and we're going to do a seed number 1 and change the weight there. And let's just see what happens. Okay, a little bit different reflection on her skin. Look at this. There's a shine on her skin because I was using a different seed number 1. Interesting. All right, now I've been using the exact same prompt but different seed numbers for all of these, and you can see the results, how it really changes things up for us. And you say, well, Mr. Berry, what happened there? Well, here on this one, if we look at it, you'll notice that on the prompt I had the matte painting as 0.8, and it forgot to put a person into it. All right, so you can see the results here. Hopefully this gives you a chance to create something that you really like, and not just strange colors with a landscape, but an actual person as you wanted there. And let's see here. So let's say that you really like this one and you want to enhance it, because remember the original subscriber, he said that he wanted this to be in a large image, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on enhance. This is when you do have to start using your credits. So I'm going to enhance it 4 times. So upscale. So I'm upscaling and it will be enhancing it at the same time. And let's see what the results are. Now if you had a really good printer, color laser printer that's made for photography and for this type of stuff, this would come out absolutely stunning. You can then hang it on your wall, frame it, and here is the result. Look at the detail around the nose and the reflection there. Really nice detail. And again, that was just the same prompt, but I've been evolving and duplicating the image over and over again using different seeds. This was seed number 1. Wow, okay. And working with it until I get finally something that I really like. Now let's say that you really like it, click on like. Hopefully you're clicking like on this video as well, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. And if you want to publish this, you click on publish, and then you can change the title to be what you want there. You can put a description in there if you wanted to, put a tag in there. So this is a woman, so that's the tag, right? And on here you could change your publishing options. You know, your preferences basically are saying, do you want to allow others to comment? And you say yes. Do you want to go in the gallery? Yes. Copy protection is on. And then do you want to show your prompts or not? So you can say yes, show the prompts. If you want to show them, click on show, and let's go back to the work. Okay, so now we're back to our publishing options here, and we're ready to publish. So just click on save and publish. At this time you can share it. So if you have social media or other places where you share your work, you can actually click on and share it at that time. I'm going to go on, say done. So there you go. Okay, this next skill is talking about mask. How to create a mask. So select a work of art, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go in and click on duplicate, and it's going to give me a start image. Now I'm going to click on choose create mask, and then click on create new mask, and then we're given this here, and we also have a small brush. Now that brush can be changed in size depending on how much area you want to cover with it. So here I am. I'm going to color up the area there of the sky, and I think what I'll do is I think I'm going to have an ocean behind her, so I'm going to color in all this area, and anything in this reddish orange color will now be the new prompt there. And let's make this smaller. Yeah, let's make this smaller, and you want to get as close as you can to be fine detail, because anything that you leave out will be left out of the prompt there. So color this all in, and once you have that exactly dialed in and colored in, then what you could do is click on Done. And after click on Done, you'll see the mask there, and then click on Done, and then it'll apply that mask to your painting. Now after that, we're going to change the prompt. And this time I think I want to do that ocean, so I'm going to say colorful ocean, and I want to do a sunset. So let's do like sunset colors. So I want sunset there, and here we are. Click on create, and let's see the results. Hey, and there's the result. Now you have the original subject there, but now there's an ocean behind her, and it does have the like the sunrise or sunset colors, which is awesome. Hey, so there you have it. Now you know how to do work there within the Night Cafe AI art generator from start to finish. If you like these types of videos, please give it a thumbs up, comment down below, because I do read your comments, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. Thank you very much. Y'all have a very good day. Bye-bye.